The guitar in my hands is very beautiful. However, there are a lot of issues, well, not a lot, but some major issues going against this guitar. But I got it for only $40. So let's talk about why I like it and what I really don't like about it. So we're going to start with the downsides of the current situation of this guitar, because they're going to be hard to notice. The main one being the E-string saddle. First of all, this is the E-string saddle. Right now I have it removed because it's been damaged basically beyond repair, so I need a new saddle. So yeah, that's a bit frustrating. This is really weird. Hopefully I'll get better shots of it later, but it's made of nice metal. However, it's probably not as nice of metal as it could have been, because there are parts that have snapped, including a kind of hook that was meant to be on the end of this that is meant to hold and latch onto this lever. So yeah, that's not good. So I would have to buy a new saddle. However, there is an issue with that as well. If this were a normal Floyd Rose, that would probably not be as big of an issue. However, this is a Floyd Rose branded guitar, and it is from the Discovery series. Now, the Discovery series had this newer, somewhat advanced, more version of the Floyd Rose. So this Floyd Rose features a quick string change system. They call it a speed loader system that allows you to more efficiently change strings if you happen to have a string break, such as on stage, because it has been well known that Floyd Roses are a pain in general to set up and to especially change a string on, but once you get it all set up, it's supposedly a magical thing. So yeah, I have to get a saddle specifically for a speed loader system, because this only uses a speed loader system and has no tuner pegs. So because of that, it only uses the speed loader system, especially because of the specialized nut that is on the front of this guitar. You just simply can't lock down a normal string like you would on a normal Floyd Rose. Normally on a normal Floyd Rose, you have your system, which you feed the string through, if I'm not mistaken, and then you put the string through the locking nut area, feed it into your tuner, and then you lock down the string with the locking nut. This uses specialized strings that were specially made for this Floyd Rose system. These strings were cut to a specific length and put these bulleted ends on, so that you would only have to slide it into the slots, push the saddle down on the bridge, and lock it back in place, and you are good to go. But it also supposedly was able to tune your string to pitch immediately as you did that action, which, you know, sounds awesome from a guitar player's standpoint. However, they no longer make these strings, and after these came out, I believe they quickly discontinued the line, because they had a realization that not many factories, if any, could hold the tolerances required to be able to accurately tune a string like that, or keep a string in tune like that, or, you know, just make it that way. There was just a lot of tolerances that just were not coming up to par, so they scrapped it after like years of development and millions of dollars into it, which is quite sad. But what makes it even sadder is that string packs for these do not exist. They do, but they are new old stock, if they're even new, and people normally want a lot of money for them. So that is a major downside. The reason why I bought this guitar was because I thought that it was going to be an option for me to be able to try a Floyd Rose system, a more affordable option at least. I was prepared to change the saddle, however I was not prepared to deal with this string system. Additionally, while just having them deal with all of the above, there are just pieces missing from this Floyd Rose tremolo system. Almost all of the fine tuners have been lost, I guess. There's only one original one left, but someone put in these screws which do the job, it just sticks up a little more, and unfortunately one of them is completely missing, which it was not my fault. I did not lose that was missing before I got the guitar. And additionally, there is one of these little bitty black nubs missing. I'm gonna have to get a better picture of that later. That is to hold in the back lever while releasing the the saddle. So that's kind of important, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get another one of those. I cannot 3D print it because it needs these very fine threads on the end of it, because on the end of the linear rod that this lever sits on, it has threads. So you thread this in there, it goes inside a little bit, and you can pull this back without having it fall off like this. And so yeah, that's going to be a bit of a challenge to acquire, maybe. I actually haven't looked into that as much. So yeah, I did look up what it was like to, roughly what the price would be to buy another quick loader saddle, which apparently there aren't many as far as I can tell. Either they're really overpriced and you have to buy a full set of them, or they are for specific strings, I guess. I'm not fully aware of this yet, but usually whenever I found a listing for a single saddle, it says for first and second position, or fifth and fourth position, something like that. And generally, this is not intuitive after the fact. Another small downside is what's going on here. The person did not have the back plate, which is somewhat understandable. People often do not like to have the back plate on here. However, there really is no reason, I think, on here to not have the back plate on unless you're adjusting something, because you don't even feed the strings through here like you would on a Stratocaster, or even I think most normal Floyd Roses. I think you feed them in through here. I'm not experienced. That's why I wanted to buy this guitar. I wanted to get a Floyd Rose to try and mess around and plink around with. That did not work out. Also, additionally, this grounding wire is just massive. I feel like this is going to get into trouble being in this area with moving parts, being this long at least. So yeah, I do think I have a spare back plate that might work, but I'm not fully for sure. So with all of the negatives out of the way, what are the pros of owning this guitar right now, or just the guitar in general? Well, the small first one is that I have a Floyd Rose branded guitar strap. It's got the name here and a logo there, so that's a little neat. But shit, that's definitely not what you want to do. The main thing that I noticed right off the bat is just the looks of it in general, because the visual aspect of a guitar is one of the more fun parts of guitar, to me at least. And the fact that it didn't have tuners was a big plus for me, because I like things that look different. However, I didn't really understand what that was going to entail. And, you know, the cutout headstock is also cool, which they were able to accomplish because they had no headstock tuners, so that's pretty cool. And generally, the guitar is just beautiful in general. It's got this kind of cream pearloid pick guard, which frankly doesn't match the pickup covers, the knob, or the switch head very well. Well, it's close. From a distance you can see it, but when you get up close, there's a noticeable difference. As well as the front of the body is great. The paint has been preserved fairly well. The only thing I've noticed, which I only just noticed actually, was a ding up here on the back, which any damage on the back I do not care about. Additionally, everything just feels great. This seems like a great guitar. The neck feel is awesome. It's very slick. The neck, from what I can tell, feels mostly like a name brand Stratocaster from Fender or Squier, the width and such. And the tremolo system is cool and nice, but I don't know much about it yet, so I don't have anything to compare it against other than Stratocaster, which it feels very similar right now, which is not exactly good because that means I just have another worse off version of a Stratocaster, which is not exactly what you want to hear when you're looking for something different. The one thing that I was looking forward to was being able to pull up on the whammy bar, which unfortunately I am not able to really do right now, but obviously I can't this isn't in playing condition in the first place. The volume is also very dirty, but I could either replace the knob or try and clean it off, I don't know. Another thing that I haven't done, ooh, that's loose. Hopefully I didn't just twist around, I probably just twisted around the frickin' jack a little bit, which is not what you want to do, but I just tightened that nut. I haven't even heard how this guitar sounds through a amplifier yet, because it's not truly playable. I did try and tune some of these, but once I get the next string on, the tuning is going to be all thrown off, so I didn't bother continue tuning. I believe I tuned the first 3 strings, but they might have been thrown off. I was actually having a difficult time trying to get this string to stay in tune when I left it, so that is not a great sign either. So overall, I don't think I made a wise purchase, but it was at least only $40 and, you know, some time to drive there. And like I said, I actually love this guitar and it would be really cool if it worked and if I could play it, but unfortunately I cannot really. I'm gonna try and plug this in anyway and see how it sounds on the, at least the first, well, I was gonna say the first two strings, but our first two strings, which are the 5 and 4 position, I believe. And hopefully the electronics actually work in general. I'm going to be recording this only with my shotgun microphone. I'm just in my room, not my recording area, so this might not be the best recording, but usually this thing's pretty good about getting an accurate sound, actually. Already it sounded a little out of tune, but it might just be my hand. Nope, that's not right. This is middle pickup. Let's try the neck pickup. It's close, but it's just but one of these strings is just a little off from each other on the tuning. Let's try bridge pickup. Very twangy. Let's try position 2. I really like this position. That's between the bridge and neck. To me, it sounds a little different than a normal Stratocaster. To me, it usually has a kind of lighter acoustic, more sounding, kind of like maybe a piezo, an acoustic piezo pickup, but still decent, obviously. It's not horrible. Now let's try between neck and middle. Let's try with some distortion. Oh, no, it's not plugged in. I'm surprised that this was working. I guess it must have a true bypass then. That's okay, so yeah, it's such a cool guitar, but unfortunately I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix it. What I'm hoping is that I might be able to do some wacky stuff with a normal string and possibly make my own strings. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I also have to find the parts for this guitar first before I could even do that and experiment with it. So if you want to see that, leave a like and a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you think of this guitar, what you think of this series. I don't know how many people out there have had a chance to plink around with one of these specific style of guitars, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know about Floyd Rose systems in general, but so far, you know, it's It's been difficult because I'm working around some certain disadvantages. I feel like it could be fun. Unfortunately, I can't even get it set up properly because of the circumstances. I've never actually done another video on a specific guitar. The only time when I did was when I got sent the wrong guitar by Amazon when it was a guitar that was going out of production. Some people might know it if they're into affordable guitars. It's actually the Indio Blueburst guitar. It used to be, now it's just a cyan thing that they overcharge for because they charge more for the cyan one than they do any other guitar for some reason. At least that's how it was. I haven't checked in a long time because I don't care about that one. So yeah, I'll link something on the end card here. That's all I have to say for now. So I'm gonna say bye-bye.